Welcome to the David Lynch podcast here on AnfieldIndex. These shows are syndicated episodes of podcasts also available on David's personal YouTube channel and Substack page. To sign up to David's brilliant Substack, please visit davidlynchlfc.substack.com and be sure to follow David on Twitter at davidlynchlfc.
So we finally had an update on the Martin Zubimendi situation, and unfortunately for Liverpool supporters, it's not good news. The player has informed Liverpool sporting director Richard Hughes this evening that he wishes to stay at Real Sociedad. Obviously, we knew that was a possibility and that he was having a real think about his future. I mentioned that in my last video, but the hope was that it would fall Liverpool's way and that their confidence in terms of getting a deal over the line would be repaid and they would get a deal done. Unfortunately, that's not going to be the case. Zubimendi is staying with Real Sociedad for at least next season, and doesn't look like there's any chances of Liverpool reviving this one, with the players' answer seemingly being final. And it's a difficult one for Liverpool to take, a real blow, not just because this number 6 position obviously has been a real problem for them down the years. I mean, they've tried over the last couple of summers, haven't they, to sign in this position. It's been really problematic, and they want that long-term option in there, that top-class option. So that obviously to not be able to get someone like Zubimendi, a top-class operator, is a real blow. But also, the disappointing aspect of it for Liverpool as well is that they feel like they've been misled in this situation. It's my understanding that Liverpool were informed prior to this summer coming around that this would be the time that Martin Zubimendi would move on. He has rejected high-profile moves in the past, the likes of Bayern Munich, Arsenal had been in for him in the past, Barcelona, of course, as well. And he's turned them down to stay with his boyhood club. But the feeling was, and that was the feeling that Liverpool were given by the player's agent, was that this was the time he was ready to move on and take on a new challenge. And unfortunately for them, the player has gone back on his word now under what they feel has been significant pressure put on him by Real Sociedad. Obviously, they were pulling out all the stops to keep the player in terms of offering a new contract with more money, pointing out the emotional ties he has to the club as well, and really putting that pressure on him. And obviously those pleas have absolutely worked, because Zubimendi has informed Liverpool he doesn't want to make the move now. Obviously, the fact that it is that number 6 position for Liverpool makes it worse, because clearly they've been looking for such a long time, haven't they? You think Moises Caicedo, Romeo Lavia rejecting moves. They did like Tchouaméni before he ended up at Real Madrid as well. So it's been a real problem for position for Liverpool. And when they finally find someone who they think is good enough to come in and be the option in that position over the long term, not just a short term option like, say, a Wataru Endo, unfortunately they've not been able to get the deal over the line. So really, really difficult one. And the thing that I think potentially makes it worse as well is very much my understanding from Liverpool sources as well, that it's very unlikely that an alternative number 6 will be targeted in this window. As I say, there's a feeling at Liverpool, and we've often spoke about this, there's been a lack of real top-class options available in that holding midfield role. Zubimendi was very much seen as a rare opportunity to get one in. As I say, he's rejected moves in the past, but seemingly was ready to move on this summer. But now, because he's U-turned on that, again, Liverpool are going back into a market that they don't particularly like. And they did think as well with Zubimendi, again, from sources I'm told, that he had a great profile that complemented what they already had in the squad. In the feeling that was why it was felt that he was the right signing. They don't maybe feel that is out there as an alternative player could maybe add into that mix, and they don't think that anyone who really would move the dial for them is out there. So again, it looks like they're going to be ending the summer without adding that, as I say, a top class, a world class number 6. So that holding midfield role looks like it's going to be another issue going into the new season, and I think that is quite frustrating for Liverpool. It's frustrating for the manager, because Arne Slot had clearly identified in pre-season that this was an area that he wanted to strengthen. Jurgen Klopp had clearly identified it as an area he wanted to strengthen in the past as well. And yet we're going to be the second consecutive summer where Liverpool don't make the signing that they want to make in that position. I think that's frustrating. I mean, as I say, the sources close to Liverpool are talking up, the likes of Gravenberch and Curtis Jones and their ability to play in that deeper position. But you have to say, they're not naturals, are they? They're not players who that is not their best position as it would be for Zubimendi. He would have been a guaranteed starter, wouldn't he, alongside Alexis McAllister. Instead, you're kind of repurposing one of those 8s into a deeper lying midfielder. And that's a difficult one, really, for Slot. Obviously, he wanted someone in there who could dictate play and would really fit nicely into his style of play. But he's not going to get that. It looks like he's going to have to use what he's already got. I do wonder whether there's going to be an issue in terms of with Wataru Endo as well. He did kind of get alienated in the way that Liverpool had made it quite clear to him there wasn't much of a place for him in the squad. But obviously now, if they don't add someone in that position, they're really going to need him. I've revealed on this channel before that Endo was very much determined to stay and fight for his place, and obviously I'm sure his resolve on that front will have been strengthened by the fact there won't be an addition in midfield in his position, and maybe that gives him a little bit of a chance to fight his way into the team in the coming season. But I think it's been made clear to him up to this point that, you know, Slot doesn't really sort of rate him, and obviously he's not particularly keen to use him an awful lot. So, you know, I think the way he's been alienated in that sense is maybe has to be bridges built a little bit back to there. But it is an opportunity, I guess, for Endo to fight his way into the team. But as I say, it really is a problem for Liverpool to solve now in that midfield, and very much has to solve it with the options that they've already got in that position. In terms of what happens next for Liverpool in the transfer market, we don't now expect them to go out and find an alternative six, but it really is interesting how they react to this blow, because Slot has spoken a couple of weeks ago and said that he does expect signings to come in. So it'll be fascinating now to see whether they can get those over the line, whether they can strengthen Slot's squad, because he obviously wants that to happen, and in what positions will be as well. I think holding midfield, we could all look at that squad on paper and say that was an area where Liverpool could make instant gains. What are the other positions that they're going to go and try and push for now in these final weeks of the window to make signings? Because I think to leave the new manager with no signings at all would be a very, very disappointing start to his reign. I think you need to give him something to freshen up the squad, and something to strengthen it as well, because at the end of the day, Liverpool were in the title race last season and they did fall away. They need to be stronger going into this season, and one of the best ways to do that is add a top-class talent. They weren't able to do that in Zubimendi, but they'll be absolutely looking to do that in other positions. But I will be fascinated, as I say, to see what those positions are, because it doesn't look like it's going to be a number 6. So let me know in the comments, guys, how are you feeling about this one? How disappointed are you that Liverpool couldn't get Zubimendi over the line? And, you know, how do you think that Liverpool have gone about this? Obviously, they were deceived in the way that the players said that he wanted to make the move, but, you know, they've shown a little bit of naivety, this new recruitment staff, and is this kind of a bad start to this new look recruitment staff and their reign in charge at Liverpool since all those changes over the summer? Do let me know what you think, and as ever, if you can like and subscribe, always appreciate that. Best place to keep abreast of all the developments in terms of transfers is, of course, by subscribing on the channel, and we do expect more to come, don't we? Slot said that he wants signings. Richard Hughes said the crescendo. He's already missed one signing, needs to make up for it now in the market. So I'm sure I'll be back soon with some updates on that. So I'll see you then.